Welcome to the second part of the discussion on the managerial accounting in the dynamic business environment. So we ended on the portion of directing operational activities and controlling activities, which are managerial accounting activities. So how does managerial accounting becomes a major part of the directions of the operational activities? So our focus company still is Walt Disney. So now the theme park has been built, equipped, and staffed. How many cashiers should be duty on a Saturday morning? How much food should be ordered each day? How much cash will be needed to meet the payroll, utility bills, maintenance supplies next month? So these are the questions that are operational in nature. This means that using the work of a management accountant, we will be able to answer all of these operational requirements, which is running the organization on a day-to-day basis. While the controlling part, the theme park has operated for several years now. Is the company's goal being accomplished? More specifically, have the theme park's operations adhered to the plans developed by management for achieving the goal? In seeking to answer these questions, we'll look at the control that are in place, which means that it will ensure that the organization operates in the intended manner and achieve its goals. So, what does controlling imply? These only imply that we look at our operations adhering to the plans. Hindi kasi pwede that we are just operating. There should be an evaluation at the end, which is done through the controlling activities. We evaluate whether the operations that are in place, the controls that are in place, are really adhering to or leaning towards achieving the goals set by the company. So how does managerial accounting adds value to the organization? Because of this factual information made by a consultant management accountant work, we would be able to have information from a variety of sources such as economists, financial experts, marketing and production personnel, accountants, and the organization's managerial accounting team. Dapat ito ay naiko-consolidate doon sa advisory work na ibibigay ng management accountant. Okay. The objectives of managerial accounting activity is 1. Provide information for decision making and planning, which was already been discussed. To assist manager in directing and controlling operational activities, also discuss this, motivating managers and other employees toward the organization's goals, measuring the performance of activities, managers, and other responsibility centers. We assess the organization's competitive position with other managers to ensure the long-run competitiveness in the industry. Okay? So, everything that has been enumerated here will be the goal of doing a management accountant's work. Let us look at a statement by Hewlett Packard that we will use as a reference in making the difference between a managerial accounting, a management accountant, and a financial accountant. In 5 years, we will become even more strategic, really understanding the ins and outs of all the organizations, and really trying to be visionary, understanding what is happening to our business. What we are, according to Boeing, what we are seeing is less transactional and more decision support type of work, more analytical, more option analysis, looking at the whole spectrum of options in helping management make decisions. So these are the works of a management accountant. We provide options, we analyze alternatives, and then we provide a concrete advice to the management. Managerial accounting information often assists management through its attention directing function. Managerial accounting reports rarely solve a decision problem. However, managerial accounting information often direct managers' attention to an issue that requires their skills. The management accounting information does not really answers a particular problem, but it directs the attention of top management on a particular item, and it provides an advice so that the management will be able to make a timely and wise decision on the particular transaction. For example, look at for example, our hypothetical example, the Disney's Animal Kingdom. Ito yung kinreate na bagong theme park attraction as in our previous discussions. It incurred electricity costs that significantly exceeded the budget. So sobrang mataas ang electricity cost. This fact does not explain why the budget was exceeded, nor does it tell management what action to take, but does direct management's attention to the situation. You look at that. The the report saying that the electricity cost exceeded the budget is a report made by a management accountant, but it does not further explain why the budget was exceeded. So it needs further investigation by the management. So this is a attention directing function of the management accounting information. It directs the top management to look into this situation so that appropriate action can be made. Suppose that upon further investigation, the accounting records reveal that the Disney's electric rates have increased substantially, so tumaas ang electricity rates. This information will help management in framing the decision problem. Should steps be taken to conserve electricity? Should they seek out a different electric power provider? Perhaps management should consider investing in a more sophisticated air conditioning system to manage the Florida heat. So therefore, because of the report made by the management accountant, several options have been considered by the top management, and these options also will be um, studied and analyzed by the management accountant. So, ito yung sinasabing attention directing function of management accountants. Okay, let us move on. Uh, okay, let us read this statement made by Quest, which is part of the now of the Century Link. You want to be on that team. You want to be the business consultant. You want to be of you want to be thought of as a value adding department versus someone who closes the book. So this merely specify or identifies what a management accountant's work is of difference to a financial accountant's work. A financial accountant's work closes the books, but a management accountant's is on the team, a consultant, and a value-adding department to the operations. So, yun ang sinasabi niya. So, by this time, you have in your mind, am I going to pursue a management accountant work or a financial accountant's work? Basically, when you look at the work of a management accountant, it's more of providing information for relevant decisions of the organizations, while financial accountants' work is more of a reportorial requirement. Reportorial requirement, a compliance requirement. So this is, the financial accountant's work is more of a clerical work, more of a account more of what is taught in financial accounting, knowing the rules and then applying the rules on your financial transactions, while management accountants work is more of integrating all what you have learned in financial accounting in the industry where you belong, in the several internal controls that you have observed, the loopholes and deficiencies, the effectiveness and efficiencies in the use of resources. So It's all encompassing in management accounting as the management accountants work. So laging pumapasok when we look at the management accountants works the concept of the balance scorecard, which have already been discussed to you on your lower undergrad courses. So let us specify more. By looking at our focus company, let us make an example of these four perspectives used by a management accountant. One is the financial perspective. We look at our goals and then the measures of those goals. How does the Walt Disney Company look to its um, shareholders? Because the shareholders will be looking at your financial statements. So therefore, your financial statements should be uh, presentable in a way that it provides information related to your profitability, liquidity, solvency, and among others. Internal business process in which activities must the Walt Disney Company excel. We look at our goals and our measures of that goals. So anong mga activity ba ang nakikitaan natin that are of best practice in the organization at anong mga internal business process ang kailangan ng improvement by looking at the outputs of that processes. The learning and growth, how can the Walt Disney Company continually improve and create value? Kaya nga siya learning and growth. Customer perspective, what do customers think of the entertainment services provided by Walt Disney? So this is manifested by the customer complaints, feedbacks, and the overall image of the company to its customers. Okay? Okay, let us emphasize more the difference between managerial accounting and financial accounting when we look at this Exhibit 1-2. Managerial accounting is it is information for decision making, planning, directing, controlling an organization's operations, and assessing its competitive position. Financial accounting, on the other hand, as I said, is a reportorial and compliance requirement report. It publishes financial statements and other financial reports. Directed ang managerial accounting information to the internal users because they will use it in making decisions, planning, controlling, directing the operations. While the financial accounting information is directed towards the public or the external users. It can be the BIR, it can be the government agencies, the stockholders, analysts, investors, and among others. So it is directed to the outside, while the managerial accounting information is directed towards the internal user or the inside of the organization. So the question is, where do you want to go? In the managerial accounting side of a company or in the financial accounting side of the company reporting to the public? So Exhibit 1-3 further differentiate managerial and financial accounting as to how the users of information are, the regulation, the sources of data, the nature of reports, and procedures. Okay? According to Caterpillar, we are a partner with all of the other functions in the business here. We are an equal partner with our product groups, with the engineering and manufacturing cohorts in making sure this business is a success. Okay. Okay. The question now on your mind is that where does the managerial accountants play are placed where are placed in the organizational chart of an organization. So let us take a look at the organizational chart of Walt Disney for us to appreciate uh, what positions do management accountants play in the overall organizational structure of a particular company. In this case, a big company such as a Walt Disney. So tingnan natin, itong top management composed of the top of the board of directors and the chairman of the board and the CEO, the staff positions and the line positions. So what is the difference between a staff and the line positions? So um, in the analysis of an organizational structure, when we say line positions, the line positions are responsible in the main operations of the company. For example, Walt Disney is an entertainment services giant. So therefore, lahat ng related to the directly related to the entertainment services provision will be the line position. For example, the Walt Disney Studios, the Disney Consumer Products, the Disney Media Networks, the Disney Interactive Media Group, the Walt Disney Parks and Resorts Worldwide. So that are the line positions. So when we say staff positions, these are supports to the line positions. To be able to accomplish what the line positions are aiming, there should be support groups, and these support groups are manifested by the staff positions such as the executive VP for corporate real estate and sourcing and treasurer, the VP for Global Security, VP for General Counsel, VP for Corporate Strategy, VP for Corporate Communications, VP ng Human Resources, Senior VP ng Planning and Control, and the Chief Financial Officer or the Senior Executive VP. So where does the management accountants placed in this organizational chart? So tingnan mo yung senior VP ng planning and control, andito po yung management accountants. Because the work of the management accountants are directed towards planning and controlling the operations, meron dyan. At meron din dito sa Chief Financial Officer, Senior Executive Vice President. Meron din dyan, pwedeng sa departments na yan. Okay? So, dyan po naka-place ang management accountants. So, therefore, the management accountants are staff positions or support groups to the line positions. Okay, Exhibit 1-4 will look at the deployment of managerial accountants in cross-functional management teams. Okay? Hypothetical planning team for Disney. So, meron tayong management accountants. Andito, so, may identify mo using this Exhibit 1-4 where these management accountants are placed. Okay? Okay. According to Boeing, managerial accountants need to be strongly partnered with the line management. They need to be proactive. They need to have a broad sense of business. It's not strictly accounting. It's looking at the full spectrum and range of business. As I am saying, it is all encompassing. It is not just reportorial. It is not just monitoring of the accounting transactions. It is being proactive, looking at the competition, looking at the internal control. So, ang daming tinitingnan when you are a management accountant because you are proactive. You look at the efficiency of the operations and the effectiveness of the controls in achieving the goals. Okay. There are some who are asking whether or not a management accountant can be a high ranking official of an organization. That would be answered on the succeeding discussions. So let us now look at a chief financial officer, a controller, or a comptroller. So what does a chief financial officer means in an organization, in a corporate world? A chief financial officer is a designation given to the executive responsible for all accounting and finance functions in the organization. So, ang tawag doon ay Chief Financial Officer, the executive for all accounting and finance concerns. Sometimes, for smaller companies, it is called the controller, and for non-profit, it is called the comptroller. So therefore, the CFO or the Chief Financial Officer is the organization's top managerial and financial accountant. So responsible yan in supervising the accounting and finance specialists throughout the company and for preparing the information and reports used in both managerial and finance accounting. Okay. As the organization's chief managerial accountant, kasi siya ay chief ng managerial accountant at chief financial accountant din. Therefore, the CFO is responsible in accounting information for line and participates in an integral member of the management team. The most CFOs and controllers are involved in planning and decision making at all levels and across all functional areas of the enterprise. This broad role has enabled many managerial accountants to rise to the top of their organizations. So this is the answer to the question na kung yung mga managerial accountant ba can rise to the high ranking officials of an organization, yes. Because of their work being all-encompassing, because of their work na kinocover halos lahat ng operations na nagkaroon na sila ng expertise on all aspects of operations, of all aspects of internal control, of all aspects related to technology, of all aspects related to marketing, kasi kailangan ng consultancy work dyan, ng managerial accounting information dyan. Therefore, managerial accountants are very much viable to rise to the top of the organization, such as the former accountants that have served as top executives in such companies. So mga dating managerial accountant, CFOs, they have been top executives in companies such as General Motors, Singer, General Electric, and Fruhoff. So these are international companies that uh, has been successful in their field of industry. Kaya nga, the opportunities for management accountant has been vast and wide range because of the nature of the work and the variety of the work offered by management accountants. According to Intel Core, one role of the CFO is classic finance, to focus Intel on driving profits and compliance with all laws worldwide. The other role is to be a sounding board for me and other senior managers in terms of our strategies and opportunities. Historically, the career path in finance has been very linear across the traditional finance roles. It's not linear anymore. So dati, we look at the hierarchy, but now it's not because of the presence of the need to to include management accountants in all of the aspects of the operations. It has been more of a complex matrix rather than a linear one. Okay, we look at the responsibilities of the treasurer normally for raising capital and safeguarding the assets of an organization. The internal auditor responsible for looking at breaches on the internal controls, on the report submitted by the accounting department, whether the procedures, the recording, and the reportorial processes has been observed. So yan ang trabaho ng internal auditor. Okay. Let us look at the statement by Boeing. Most of the people are decentralized and actually are co-located with the people that they support. That's our approach, and we're moving more and more toward that and less toward a central group that provides information. So because of the variety of the nature of work made by management accountants, it is more of a cross-functional deployment, hindi na lang yung centralized lahat ng transaction. So, the deployment of managerial accountants are increasingly being cross-functional management teams rather than centralized ones. This also includes the physical location as it is affected. Kaya nga sinasabi dyan, where do managerial accountants actually do their work? The answer is just about everywhere. Because um, all operations of the business needs a the consultancy work made by an accountant, from the very basic assessment of from the very basic cost benefit analysis doon sa pagbili ng particular raw material, up to the biggest decisions to be made by the top management in venturing or investing on a particular uh, real estate property. This involves a work or an analysis made, a study by a management accountant. Okay, we look at the managerial accounting and the value chain. Okay, so this let's look at more of what we need to discuss. Okay, capacity and capacity cost. A key challenge in providing useful managerial accounting information is understanding and correctly analyzing an organization's capacity and the cost of providing that capacity. By capacity, we mean the upper limit of the amount of goods or services that an organization can produce in a specified period of time. For example, how many iPods can Apple manufacture in a month? How many people can Disney's Magic Kingdom accommodate in a day? Or how many cell phone calls or text messages can Verizon process in an hour? So these are a capacity and capacity cost. So may cost ang bawat range of capacity. So hindi tayo pwedeng nagsiset ng very high capacity tapos ang ating operations ay ganito lang, because this entails cost. So, yun ang sinasabi dyan. According to Macy's, one of the problems today is that we rely on all these computer reports. We know what customers buy and how rapid the sell-through is on any given item, but no report will tell you how much they would have bought if things have been different. So this is the work of the management accountant. So we look at several items of capacity, such as the theoretical capacity. This refers to the ideal, the upper limit on the production of goods or services if everything is perfect. So this is just mere a piece of paper capacity. Dahil hindi, it never happened. Yung everything is perfect or 100% at walang glitches on the system. Wala daw cashiers, walang nagkakasakit, no cash registers breakdown, and there are no other interruptions such as calamities, outages, and so on. While we look at practical capacity, because this allows for normal occurrences such as downtime of cash register and illnesses of the labor. So there are important questions to ponder upon on managerial accounting, which are: one, what is an organization's practical capacity? So we have to compute for this. What are the costs of the resources supplied to provide that capacity, and how have those resources been used? Okay. So this is a example in page 21 of this module will illustrate to you how are we able to look at the capacity and capacity cost of a business. This is for your reading, because this is self-explanatory yung concept of capacity and capacity cost. Okay, let us introduce more of the cost management system, so that I've already been discussed to you on the previous undergrad courses, such as the activity-based costing and activity-based management. So, ini-introduce sa iyo lahat ng concepts related to managerial accounting for us to be able to look into the whole before dwelling on the details. So, what does a managerial accounting career looks? The managerial accounting as a career in the Philippines. There's no really demarcation line between a CPA and I mean a financial accountant and a management accountant, dahil yung mga CPA in most of the corporate entities are also playing the roles of managerial accountants. But there are the certifications or the professional organizations in the Philippines for CPAs are the Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants, while there is no accredited professional organizations for management accountants in the local level or in the Philippines, but there is an international certification, yung certified management accountants, which is internationally recognized. Okay? Yun yung internationally recognized through the Institute of Certified Management Accountants. So, yun siya. So, ito siya. The IMA has administered the CMA program since 1972. So, kung if you want to work in abroad, um, and you want to be a management account do management accounting work, it is you have to pass the Certified Management Accountants professional certifications by IMA. So there are other CPAs in the Philippines that especially those in the corporate world na kumukuha sila ng professional certification na CMA in addition to their CPA license. So, pwede yun as long as you pass the examinations administered. And the examination administered are more of management accounting subjects. Okay? If you ask someone what a superstar CFO is today, one of the things they'll say is impeccable integrity and role model for the rest of the company. Okay, so I think I have to end my discussion through that quote. That to be able for you to become a successful chief financial officer, a successful CPA, a successful CMA, what you have to do is to have an impeccable integrity and be the role model for the rest of the company and for the rest of the profession, because we are measured by our integrity and professionalism as you future accountants. That ends the discussion video for the first module, managerial accounting in a dynamic business environment. Thank you.